about it right now, everything's okay. No matter where you find yourself, no matter what kind of stuff is going on in your life, underneath it all, everything's actually all right. You're okay. You have more power than you.
I'm just gonna get this out of the way. Overall, it is a brilliant camera. From filming to photography, it's phenomenal. The 1080 footage itself is, I mean, I haven't been able to do it, but apparently some have been able to expand it into 4K renders and it looks like 4K footage. Photography wise, it is a 20 megapixel camera, 20 something. I'm a big Canon user. I love shooting Canon. Canon is my favorite camera to use. Besides to alright to great film, Canon is up there, but for photography, it's phenomenal. The colors you can pull and change, and the dynamic range in general, especially from a full frame sensor. The fact that full frame sensors are so accessible now and they're so good. Not only can you get wider shots with it, you can allow in more light, which generally speaking means it's brilliant for night photography or in dark spaces. It also goes well with L series lenses, like this 24 to 105 L series lens. You can see that, I don't know if you can see here, but this was made for a full frame camera. You can use it on a crop obviously, but you're not gonna get the full potential of that lens. I've done mostly photography with this camera because most of my work I usually film in 4K. Sadly, the 16 Mark II doesn't have 4K. I wouldn't count that as a big no-no, but for a lot of you, I guess you want to film 4K. There's some good news, some bad news. Well, the 5D Mark III doesn't have 4K, but a group called Magic, I think it's called Magic Lantern, let me just look it up. Yeah, it's called Magic Lantern. I'll put a link in the description below for the 5D Mark III users. If you want to film 4K on that camera, you can mod it, and I think it doesn't just do 4K, I think it does 5K, I believe. Yeah, it is raw footage at true 4K. We're not talking 3820 by 2 whatever. It does 4096 by 2560. Not even my GH5. My GH5 does do that. I believe that's Cinema 4K. My GH5, which I'm filming on right now, does do that. But this is a full frame camera, so you're gonna get a lot. You can get it up to. You could get it up to 5796, but this is not out for the 16 Mark II. But the only reason why I mention it, because there are rumors that they're working on it. A mod will come out in the next, I'm gonna predict the next year or 2 years. So if you want to wait till then, but look, if you are solely doing photography, this is a brilliant buy. It's either the 5D Mark III or the 16 Mark II. There's not much difference between them. They're basically the same in my opinion. I found that the colors are a bit better on the 16 Mark II, but one of the main problems with the 16 Mark II, which is what I'm going to get to, is that the focal points are quite central, while the 5D Mark IIIs aren't. Control the focus on the touchscreen on the 16 Mark II, so you don't really need to use the points. I don't know which one is cheaper right now. I think a second-hand 16 Mark II will go for maybe 1,700, 1,500 pounds. A brand new one will cost you probably just 2,000 on Amazon, I believe. My dislikes, I think I've mentioned, is SD card slot, only one. Now, it's not too much of a problem if you're using it mainly for photography and you have a really large SD card. You're never gonna run out of space. It's always good to have an extra one to back your footage up, or if you want to do anything like that. For filming, the film codec isn't large, so you won't really have a problem with space. But if you're using a 16 gig, yeah, it could get a bit, you know, you might have to worry about space. Battery life is brilliant. I just want to point that out. I know I was going on to negatives, but one great positive and amazing thing about the camera is battery life is phenomenal, as well as its time-lapse mode. That is phenomenal as well. I give that 9 out of 10. It's sometimes buggy, but I've had a few issues where it hasn't exported the file properly or it hasn't rendered properly. But if you've seen some of my previous videos, it shoots time lapses in 4K. Phenomenal footage right there. I think one of the things that brings it down as a camera is the price. It's a brand new one, I believe, costs £2,000. Yes, it's a full frame. Yes, it's 20 megapixels, but damn. I mean, it doesn't do 4K. You can get a 4K camera at 800 pounds. Look, I won't go into video too much because I mean, this is a channel that's based on video, but also photography as well. But I want to mainly focus on photography, photos. You're not gonna have a problem. I took some stills at the park the other day. They look brilliant. They look great. I used the ones of the squirrels as my wallpapers. I sell some of them on Shutterstock. They do great. So yeah, that's one thing to remember. Is a great camera in general. Obviously, it doesn't matter what lenses, but if you have L series lenses, buy this camera. It will make the most out of it. I don't really have too much to say other than sometimes I don't understand why, as you increase the frame rate, it crops the footage a bit. It's still full HD, but just the footage is cropped, and then you film 24 and it's wider. I guess it's like because it can't handle it or something like that, but that's not really a problem for me as well. Like, I could keep going back to film, but I don't want to keep going back to film. It's not about film, it's about photography. You might also want this camera over the 5D Mark III because of the flip out screen. The flip out screen is perfect. It's brilliant. The screen is pretty. Touchscreen's awesome. I use a touchscreen for my photography because you can touch and it'll take a photo. Yeah, I know you don't have to touch it, but like if I want to focus on something, but the autofocus is being a bit funny. But by the way, that's rare because the autofocus for me, many people have been complaining about the autofocus. I just like to say, I don't know what they're talking about. The autofocus has worked 95% of the time. Sometimes it hasn't worked is if the ISO is cranked up quite a lot and we're in a dark situation. And one of the key selling points of this camera is the autofocus. It's a great vlogging camera. You can turn the camera, you can flip the camera out and watch yourself. Unlike this, unlike the 5D Mark IV, which does 4K, and which you would have thought this is like for video if it does 4K. I mean, it doesn't even really advertise as a 4K camera, but it does. No flip out screen, which is a big bummer. But I do love this camera as well. I'm doing a review on this camera next week, and it will be based mostly on video because video on this camera is very controversial. People say, isn't that great? The codec sucks. It doesn't work well with Premiere, blah, blah, blah. And I want to kind of prove those things and disprove some of those things. When I compare the 16 Mark II to this, photography wise, there's not too much different. If you're choosing for like sport photography or some fast moving stuff, yeah, get the 16 Mark II because it's, well, firstly, it does 9 frames, while this I only think does, sorry, it's getting sunny. This is 7 frames. I don't know what dynamic range is for both cameras. I believe the dynamic range is 8 for the 16 Mark II. Dynamic range of 11.9 stops. So 12 stops basically. I'm just reading it now. Holy sh**. Just reading it now. 5D Mark IV has better dynamic, better megapixels than the 1DX Mark II, which is a big surprise to me. Damn. And has better dynamic range? What? That's bullshit. Sorry, I'm just researching this now. 16 Mark II is pretty good. I mean, I think it has around 12 as well. Yeah, okay, so yeah, 16 Mark II has 12 stops. Oh no, okay, and then this has 15 stops. Wow. Alright, so that's my review on the 16 Mark II. I hope you enjoyed. I hope you enjoyed the photos. Follow me on Instagram. That's where most of my photography work is uploaded. If you want to see more of my videos, put the notifications on and subscribe if you want. Like, I do this for fun anyway, so you don't really have to, but if you want to support my channel, if you want me to grow, you want to help me out a lot, yeah, like and subscribe, and tell your friends about me, please. Help me, I want to be popular on YouTube. Bye.